Hey, it's Doug with Backcountry Pilgrim. If you have been checking out hiking gear on YouTube over the last several years, you have probably heard of the brand Nitecore. For many years now, Nitecore's ultralight headlamp, the NU20, has been a favorite among thru hikers and ultralighters, and even when they kind of messed with the design and made a lot of people mad, they eventually bounced back and produced a new version of it that is a lot more favored than its predecessor. This is actually the MCT version of the NU25. It is the lightest of this line, coming in at only 1.66 ounces. Now, I will talk more about this headlamp later, but for the purposes of this video, I want to show you some of the other gear that Nitecore makes that you might be interested in taking on your hiking, camping, or backpacking trips. The first of these is a new series of power banks that Nitecore has come out with called the NB Air. Look at the size of this thing. It's like the size of a little cookie. That's 5,000 milliamps right there, and if that's not enough for your trip, you can pick up its bigger brother, the NB10000. It's a 10,000 milliamp brick right there. So these little guys are pretty impressive. The NB Air power bank has a capacity of 5,000 milliamps, which is actually rated at 3,300. One of the things I really appreciated about Nitecore is the fact that they actually gave both of these figures, because the rating tells you how much power you're actually going to probably have access to when recharging a device. That rating pretty much never mirrors a charger's capacity, which is used more for selling points. It's less than 4.5 inches long, less than 2 inches wide, and less than a ½ inch thick. And the NB Air only weighs 3.1 ounces. That's over 1,000 milliamps per ounce. It's a USB-C, has a great little charge indicator, and is IPX7 rated, which means that it can actually go underwater without failing. Of course, you do not want to actually use it underwater, but if you happen to drop it in a creek, you're going to be okay, as long as it doesn't go more than a meter for over 30 minutes. Another thing great about the NB Air is its form factor. Not only is it very small, but it has a carbon fiber anti-torsion sheet that is very tough and yet is very light, and the corners are rounded so it won't abrade whatever you keep the charger in. It's got a protective MCU for a safe current and charge, and it is even rated safe for flight. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the TSA is going to let you take it, but it can be shipped without a problem. Now, if that's not enough power for you, the NB10000 Gen 3 also has a solid carbon fiber frame. It only weighs in at 5.3 ounces, so again, you're getting a little over 1,000 milliamps per ounce. However, it should be noted that if you're trying to hit the 10,000 milliamp number, 2 NB Airs are actually going to be better than one NB10000. This one, however, comes with dual USB-C ports, which automatically switch between charging and discharging and even pass through charging so that you can charge it and another device at the same time. The form factor here is 4.8 inches by 2.3 by 0.4, so it is still less than a ½ inch thick. And it is IPX5 rated, so it'll be okay in rain or splashes, but you don't want it going underwater. When you consider that not too long ago, something like this Anker 10,000 milliamp charger was considered kind of state-of-the-art, when you compare it to what Nitecore is making, that is a pretty impressive difference. All right, so that is the NB Air and the NB10000 Nitecore power chargers. All right, next we have something fairly new from Nitecore. This is the APO5C little ultralight air pump. You've probably seen something like this from Flextail or some other manufacturers. This is Nitecore's offering in that area. The APO5C pump has a form factor very similar to the Flextail Zero, but is even lighter, if that can be believed. The Flextail comes in at 1.2 ounces, the Nitecore at 0.8. Yes, this is under an ounce, and yet it can produce a 200 liter per minute airflow and a runtime of 45 minutes. It'll inflate a typical sleep pad in under 2 minutes, and it is good for about 30 of these kinds of inflations. It comes with 4 different nozzles to fit pads, pillows, and vacuum bags and swim gear. It's only 3 inches long and 1 inch thick. It also uses a carbon fiber scratch and impact resistant body that both makes it more protective and lighter weight. It can also be used as an electronic bellows to keep your fire burning bright without you having to breathe any smoke. I did have a couple of issues with this pump. The cap is a little tricky, the button keeps getting stuck, and because I didn't read the directions, it did take me a little while to figure out how to even turn it on. As it turns out, you push the button twice to go on and once to go off. However, once I got it figured out, it worked just fine. The APO5C pump from Nitecore is $65, which puts it about $12 higher than the FlexTail, but you are getting something that is both more powerful and lighter. All right, so that is the APO5C, little mini ultralight air pump from Nitecore. All right, this last piece of gear from Nitecore is one of their very newest offerings. This is a portable electronic repeller for bugs and other critters called the EMR25. The EMR25 portable electronic repeller advertises itself as a bug repellent. In high power mode, after a 10-minute warm-up, it is said to give a 16-foot dome of protection and 11 feet in low mode. This is an electrical device. It is not fuel-based like others are. You simply place pads inside the little heat unit and turn it on. It's got a 12-hour runtime on its 1200 milliamp battery and a USB-C, which can be used as a backup power unit. And in addition to heating up those pads to get rid of the flying bugs, it also has an ultrasonic setting that sends out a 40,000 hertz signal that is supposed to keep the critters away. The whole thing weighs slightly less than 10.5 ounces, and it's got a built-in clip to carry on a backpack. It's got a waterproof rating of IPX5 and will probably run about $100. I haven't actually seen the price of this yet because it is so new. In addition to this $100, you will be buying the little mosquito mats, and so the device ends up running about 20 cents an hour to work. Now, I actually took this unit out during a very mosquito-laden hike, and to be honest, I did not see it repel mosquitoes at all. In fact, they were quite content to stay on me even when the device was only an inch away from them. Now, when I got home, I actually emailed Nitecore, told them what had happened, and they said, well, next time try using 2 mosquito pads. Make sure you wait the full 10 minutes for it to warm up, but then also to actually affect the bugs. So this time I found a nice buggy area with a friend of mine. We set the device up, left it for 20 minutes and came back, and the same number of mosquitoes that were on us the first time were on us the second time. Now, at one point there was a marmot eyeing our backpacks with some food in them, and the device might have kept the marmot away because I did leave it running and left the packs alone for about 15 minutes, and although the marmot never came to our bags, he was seen in the same general area later. So, while I very much like the idea of the EMR25, I have to admit it didn't work out very well for me. I did not personally see much of a difference. Like many other hikers, I really liked Nitecore's NU20. It was pretty much the #1 recommended headlamp when I was getting back into backpacking a lot more. However, like many other hikers, I did not like the redesign very much. I started looking into the NU25. I figured, well, if I'm already going to have a larger form factor headlamp, why not just get something with more features and more brightness as well? And now that Nitecore has come out with the MCT ultralight version in the 3rd gen, I think it is well worth a look. I really like the NU25 from Nitecore. No, it is not their absolute lightest headlamp. However, it does come with a number of features and brightness levels that you don't find in their lightest NU20. This is the lightest of the NU25 series, coming in at only 1.66 ounces, that's 47 grams. For that, you're getting 400 lumen with a 100-degree beam and a 132-meter throw. It is also one of Nitecore's longest-lasting headlamps. It can go 45 hours at 6 lumen. Now, 6 may not sound like much, but it's actually pretty decent. I can get around my room no problem in the middle of the night with a 1 lumen flashlight. But if you need to crank it up to something like 60, it'll still go 13 hours. And that's because of a lightweight, but pretty heavy-duty 700 milliamp lithium battery. You get several different lights and several different modes with the NU25. There's a beacon, SOS, and slow flash mode. You've got a neutral white, warm, and cool headlamp colors in 6, 60, 200, and 400 lumen range, plus the usual red lights. These are all controlled pretty easily with a simple 2-button control that has buttons big enough and distinct enough to be able to be used pretty easily. The headlamp is just under 2.5 inches wide, 1 1/3 inches tall, and 1 inch thick. So although it is not the smallest in their line, it is certainly not bulky. It comes with a glow-in-the-dark and reflective shock cord head strap. It's got a great little power level indicator, so you don't have to guess how much more light you have. And the headlamp is IP66 rated, which is about as good as you can get for waterproof ratings that are not submersible. One of the things I love about this is the stuff sack that it comes with actually turns into a little lantern. So that is the NU25 MCT by Nitecore. If any of this gear interests you, please check the links in the description below. Using those helps this channel out at no cost to you. If you are interested in other hiking electronics, check out these videos that are popping up on your screen right now. And if you are into hiking, camping, backpacking, and the gear that goes with it, why don't you subscribe to Backcountry Pilgrim, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video or got anything out of it at all. And until next time, I'm Doug. Thanks for watching.